Well, successful investors use a constant stream of data to inform their decisions, and more successful sports teams do the same thing. Years ago, the so-called Moneyball revolution in baseball caused teams to think about the sport and player performance in different ways. The same thing has happened in the world of professional hockey, where demand for detailed player stats and other data has become a huge part of teams' efforts to succeed. Our next guest is a successful entrepreneur in the field, Meghan Chayka, founder of Stathletes. It's a data analytics company that mainly serves professional hockey teams. Meghan, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about the company. It's not an old company. How long has it been around?
It is an old company.
How old is it?
And being on a finance show, I'm going to say I actually graduated in 2008 with a finance degree. Right. So if you wonder why I'm an entrepreneur, there you go. I had to sort of pivot in a bad market. So we actually incorporated in 2010. 15-year-old company. Seems like that normal story of overnight success takes about 15 years. And at Stathletes, we translate a large variety of data, 3D data, raw data, into sports intelligence. Specifically at the NHL league level with teams, players, now sports books, media, digital. Data's booming in sports.
Fans get a lot of data these days. We see it flashing across the screen as we watch a hockey game, the speed of a shot that just happened, for instance. What kind of new data are teams looking at internally that is likely not available to the general public?
Just better models, kind of going off the finance idea too, right? If you understand the market better, you make better decisions. So these advanced models that are predictive, whether that's the quality of a shot, the quality of a pass, who usually can create the most environment for success. So putting the puck in your net and keeping the puck out of your net. Both of those advanced models go a long way into understanding who you want on the ice, when, and that context that's really important in sports.
Yeah, out of curiosity, how transferable is your technology into other sporting areas? And could you even have a further branch out to online gambling and other things to provide data and analytics in those areas as well? How far could the reach be?
Well, we actually already work with sports books. And so sports books in Ontario, it was about 3 years ago now, maybe even 4 years ago, that they overturned PASPA in the US and Ontario had legalized sports books. So that predictive nature of data is really where our company took off. Before it was always like, can you really use data? How important is it? And now it's like every data point matters, accuracy matters. The amount of computer vision AI that goes into generating these rich data sets, we're at the forefront of that. So seeing that AI revolution now, LLMs, ChatGPT, everything that's like used to be sort of on the fringe of society and now is really taking over, I think has only helped our company and the space of data in sports.
Your process begins in many cases with video, correct? Video is taken, of course, of games and of players, and data is extracted from that video, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any sort of like computer vision needs a data feed. And so with these 4K cameras, being able to capture data around the world now, no different than security or self-driving cars. It's like, how do you understand, motions, action recognition? Very similar principles that we're trying to scale in sports.
Do teams tell you what type of data they would like?
Sometimes. I mean, we try to capture as much as possible, be ahead of the curve. Sometimes I think we're 5 years ahead, but I think it's better to be far out and then kind of distill backwards what makes sense in that moment. Knowing that the future does move quick, right? Like technology adoption is slow and then very fast all at once. So I like to keep pushing, even though maybe some things conceptually are too far ahead.
Yeah, question for you. Obviously, we're into the NHL playoffs. Everybody's very excited right now. There's a lot of energy about that. Can you give an example, maybe some of the analytics you use? There may be a little bit on the periphery people wouldn't be aware of that could be really interesting for viewers to know about. You guys actually collect at a time like the playoffs as an example versus teams versus players as an example.
Well, one role that's largely misunderstood probably is goaltenders. So understanding why goalies stop certain shots, what their weaknesses are, how they're playing. We know if a goalie gets hot, it's like, ooh, that's a team you really don't want to see. So like the Tampa Bay Lightning is a good example, the Vegas Golden Knights out west, the Colorado Avalanche. Those are teams that have really good goals saved above expected, meaning their goaltenders stopping beyond that threshold of what an average goaltender would. So now that we can actually put a number behind that, you sort of know who to tick off of, like, that's a team you don't want to run into.
What about expected goals, another forecasting analytic?
Very similar. So the more data you can put into it that's predictive, you can use in a model, maybe even in real time, you can react to the quality of shots you're getting and the quality of shots that you're limiting. Actually, funny enough, is like some goaltenders that play really well, they have a really good defensive system in front of them. So they actually see low quality shots. And yes, they make the stops, they deserve it, but they also have a whole team in front of them. So you can't just have one player, you have to have an entire system that works for you. And that shows up in expected goals.
Do you provide team-related stats as well, or is it mainly a focus on individual players?
Absolutely. Team-wide, league-wide, different comparables, even for draft. So you can see the player development of a player throughout their entire career. Look at trends, how to optimize, how to make better decisions faster. That's probably at the crux of Stathletes.
So NHL teams are clients, but you serve many teams in many leagues across the world, right? Correct? I see 31 hockey leagues in 34 countries. Is
There's
that correct?
a lot, yeah. So we try to scale as much as possible. And I think being in Canada, our superpower is, internationally, we've done trade missions. I actually did the first trade mission, Women in Tech trade mission in Germany with the federal government, I want to say 6 years ago. So really have tried to be a net exporter. A nice little company where, you can export 90% of revenue and still be in Canada, have great engineers here, University of Waterloo, University of Toronto. So we draw a lot from our tech system that works quite well in this area, and then we can export our data.
Meghan, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
Meghan Chayka is data scientist and co-founder of Stathletes.